it's really nice to have something to be able to say to the barristers in chambers, you have to do this because we now have this certification, so they have to comply with it. So we know that everybody in chambers is compliant to the standard we require them to be. But from my personal perspective, it definitely makes it easier for managing barristers and their devices to be able to say you have to comply with these rules because we have this certification.
We think we're compliant, but how do you really know? And we just wanted to be able to prove that to ourselves, but also to the people whose data we're looking after, to our clients.
Beginning of a virtuous circle, isn't it really? So from a client perspective, obviously the level of information that they want to know from us in terms of our data security and data protection compliance is increasing. So if we can point to the certification as independent assurance for them, and the certification therefore becomes more high profile and is taken up more widely, then that becomes an expectation from them. And then that whole process can just be shortcut to an extent, standardized. And then the questions that we have to answer for the various clients could be sort of consistent across the board. And that process just becomes a lot easier. And clients can be a lot more confident in the outcome of it, I suppose.
We were the only chambers, I think, at the time who were allowed to access the papers outside of the government building. Everybody else had to go on site to actually access papers because we could evidence that we have the appropriate controls in place when we receive the brief.
Because you have
I think
LOCS.
this will become the norm, that they expect these types of standards. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this just became the standard that everybody has to comply with. And as somebody said earlier, let's get ahead of the game and let's be there before it becomes a requirement, so you're not kind of panicking.
Getting that independent sort of third-party overview, just to give us that assurance that what we think is compliance and our sort of methods for ensuring compliance with data protection rules were actually in line with standard practice and what is expected, from an independent third-party perspective.